Wednesday's story began when she attended her old school, Nancy Reagan High. But soon enough, she started making a series of blunders that might be normal for the Addams family but fatal for the other normies, who were normal people and not freaks like Addams. Wednesday found her brother, Pugsley, trapped in her locker, which led her to use her psychic vision to see what happened to him. She saw that some senior boys at the school had tortured her brother, which enraged her. As soon as Wednesday saw that, she sought revenge and released some piranhas into the pool where those boys were swimming. The guys were nearly killed by the fish, and for that, Wednesday was accused of attempted murder and expelled from school. The Addams family seized the chance to admit their daughter to the Nevermore Academy, from where Morticia and Gomez graduated. Wednesday met with Larissa Weems, the principal of the school, as soon as she got there. Larissa accepted complete responsibility for Wednesday's upbringing and education, and she gave Morticia her word that she would keep an eye on her daughter. Larissa assigned her to Ophelia Hall, where Morticia was once enrolled. Wednesday met her new roommate, who was a totally different person. She loved colors and painted her entire room like a rainbow, which Wednesday obviously didn't enjoy. Morticia said goodbye to her daughter and advised her not to consider leaving the school, to which Wednesday retorted that she would leave the school anyhow. Even though Wednesday didn't appreciate such presents of love, she nevertheless treasured the locket that Morticia gave her, which had the letters M. On the other side, it said W. on it to symbolize the bond that Morticia had with her daughter. Morticia offered her a crystal ball, so they could have a video call on their way. On their way back home, Morticia was worried about her child, so Gomez sent his trusty hand, Thing, to keep an eye on Wednesday, which was the only way to ease Morticia's worries. On the other hand, a series of murders were taking place in Nevermore's forest, where one of the bodies was discovered to be that of a lost traveler. Sheriff Galpin thought that a fierce animal, rather than a man, had dismembered this body and left its parts all over the place. Enid, since Wednesday would never wear colored clothing, which was against her ethics, she was given a black uniform for the school. Wednesday only wanted silence in her room, which Enid didn't like, and on the other hand, Enid wanted to dance and listen to music, which Wednesday despised. So when the two argued, Enid tried to frighten Wednesday with her claws, but in the meantime, their hostile supervisor, Marilyn, arrived. They were briefed about the hostile policies by Marilyn, who also gave directions to Jericho in response to Wednesday's queries. Marilyn firmly prohibited them from creating any other outcast scoundrels there. The following day, while everyone in the swordsmanship class was dressed in white, Wednesday showed up wearing a black dress and challenged Bianca to a duel. Already, Bianca had triumphed over the geeky Rowan, and now she sought to triumph against Wednesday. Wednesday was eventually defeated by Bianca after a bitter fight, causing her to suffer from a loss of self-esteem. She had to face Rowan in the sick room, and he insulted her by calling her an outcast at a school full of outcasts. Wednesday was upset, but she didn't express any of her feelings of sadness or anger. Before a gargoyle could fall on her head, Xavier intervened to save her life. When Wednesday regained consciousness, Xavier reminded her that they had known each other since they were little. Wednesday once attended Xavier's godmother's funeral when she was only 10 years old because her grandma and his godmother were close friends. When little Wednesday and Xavier were playing hide and seek, Xavier hid in the coffin of his godmother. However, the casket was about to be fired up in the furnace. Wednesday pressed the red button, and Xavier was forever thankful to her for saving him from being burned to death. By saving Wednesday's life this time, Xavier felt he had returned his favor to her. When Wednesday finally realized that Thing was following her, she grabbed him and threatened to lock him in the drawer forever unless he would bow down to her and agree to help her. Thing followed Wednesday's command, as he had no choice. The following day, Principal Weems and Wednesday arrived at Jericho, where she was sent for therapy even though she was not interested. The therapist couldn't impress her or win her heart at all, so Wednesday ran away from there under the pretext of going to the restroom and entering the town market. In the market of Jericho, she ran across a fruit seller and was then again struck by a psychic vision. Wednesday saw that the fruit seller would soon die in an accident. Wednesday disregarded the matter and eventually found a cafe where Tyler Galpin, the son of Sheriff Galpin, worked at a coffee shop in Jericho. Wednesday demanded a cup of coffee, but Tyler's coffee maker broke. Wednesday asked Tyler how to catch a taxi or train from there, but Tyler responded that she could take an Uber, as in Jericho, there was no taxi service. Wednesday replied that she didn't utilize technology or a phone because she thought it would enslave her mind. Tyler gave Wednesday a cup of coffee after Wednesday had fixed his coffee machine. Meanwhile, when a group of pilgrims came to the cafe and called Wednesday a freak, she beat them severely. Tyler's father, Sheriff Galpin, arrived shortly after, and then came Principal Weems. Weems referred to Wednesday as Miss Addams, which caused Galpin to think that Wednesday was the daughter of Gomez Addams, who, he said, deserved to be imprisoned for committing murder. Wednesday was startled and intrigued by this issue, but Weems shortly escaped with her. On her way back to school, Wednesday saw the accident with the fruit seller's truck, which implied that Wednesday's psychic vision was flawless. Back at the hostel, she practiced her cello, and Enid came over to talk to her. Enid sobbed as she told her about her grief, and she told her that she was not a proper werewolf because she had no other powers other than her claws. Therefore, her family would never respect her, nor would she ever find a boyfriend. Seeing Enid crying, Wednesday shared the tragic event of her life for which she cried only once in her life. It was the time when Wednesday was only 6 years old and had a scorpion as her pet. When she was walking through a street with her pet, Nero the scorpion, it was run over by some street boys on a bicycle, which left Wednesday emotionally scarred. That was the last time she shed a tear for someone. Finally, Thing approached Tyler to tell him that Wednesday wanted him to call her. Wednesday used Enid's computer to talk to him and ask him to help her get on the train. At a carnival named Harvest Festival, when Principal Weems was keeping an eye on Wednesday, she managed to divert her mind and met Tyler. Tyler gave her the Gomez Addams case file, which Wednesday accepted, but she didn't appreciate the fact that Tyler wanted to help her. They tried to run away to catch the train, but in the meantime, she stumbled upon Rowan, who was running toward the woods. Wednesday got another psychic vision, and she finally saw that Rowan was not an ordinary outcast, but he knew something terrible was going to take his life. Leaving everything behind, Wednesday ran into the woods to follow Rowan when he captured her and tried to kill her. Wednesday realized that the sudden fall of that gargoyle was not an accident, but that it was Rowan who did it to kill her with his telekinetic power. In the nick of time, Rowan was captured by a ferocious beast, and it killed him. However, it didn't hurt Wednesday, and she ran away into the woods. Wednesday discovered the picture, which was partially torn, and it piqued her interest so much that she wanted to dig deeper to identify the source of all the issues and solve the mystery. She was reading her father's criminal file, which said that he had committed a homicide. Though we didn't get to know anything about that murder yet, sooner Wednesday would reveal it. She called her parents through the crystal ball and told them she loved the Nevermore Academy and would not be leaving since she had so many things on her plate, which she was about to enjoy while uncovering their mysteries.